up? Checkmytech here, back with another video with
the Bow Arrow.
And we are doing an iPad Air 2 versus the iPad Mini 2 comparison. Are they still relevant in 2017? So first off, well, we're going to find out. So let's get started. So first off, we are going to compare the specs of each one. So the Bow Arrow, can you tell us the specs of the iPad Mini 2?
The iPad Mini 2 has the Apple A7 processor with the M7 motion coprocessor. It has a 720p front camera and a 1080p 5 megapixel rear camera,
as well as a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. Now, the iPad Air 2 has a A8X chip and an M8 coprocessor. It also has a 8 megapixel iSight camera, as well as a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera, and as well can record in 1080p. So now we are going to do a boot up test, seeing which one turns on the fastest.
So we pressed them at the exact same time. We timed it to make sure. And so
now we're going to wait and see which one wins. In terms of it beat it by a larger margin. So first off, what we're going to do is make sure that we cut out all of the RAM data. So we're going to hold the home button, the power button, and then hold on the home button to make sure everything's cleared, all the data is cleared, as well as our multitasking is cleared. And right here you can see the bottom. You can see the thickness and the thinness. The iPad Air 2 was slightly thinner, but the iPad Mini 2 was slightly lighter, which is expected considering it is a smaller device.
The iPad Air 2 has the fingerprint sensor, whereas the iPad Mini 2 does not.
Right. However, the iPad Mini 4 does. So currently they have on Apple's website, they have the iPad Pro, the iPad Air 2, and the iPad Mini 4 and the iPad Mini 2. So those are your options. The iPad Mini 2 is significantly cheaper.
So here's a look at the back. They're both the same color. I think they're both the space gray.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can see they're almost identical. Like I said, the outward appearance, other than the Touch ID and just the size of them, the thinness, is exactly the same. Here you can see the speakers. You can see the iPad Air 2 is a little bit thinner. They each have the Lightning port and stereo speakers.
So here's an app test.
Yeah, we're gonna do it right here. We are doing a comparison between. I believe here it was settings, or no, the App Store. Yeah, and as you can see, the iPad Air 2 was slightly faster. Is that a huge difference? No, it's not. On most of our tests, they were either identical or the iPad Air 2 was slightly faster, but not by a large margin at all. Not a game changer in any way. However, bigger games, you may see a bigger difference. As you can see here in settings, the iPad Air 2 was better, but is it a significant difference where $300 is more? Not really. The only time you'll really see a difference is with large apps or games such as Infinity Blade or large games, which maybe if your kid has it might notice it or something like that. But for work, it should be perfectly fine.
Yeah, Charlie, I use mine for work all the time. I write all my songs on it. All right, so here we're going to open GarageBand, and I'll show you how fast it runs. I use this to write most of my songs, although I finish them up on the computer, but that's just because I have a different program. GarageBand is very good on an iPad. You can see I have, I think, an 8-track project going right there. It's about 4 minutes long, and it has all kinds of instruments and sounds, as well as automated drums. The iPad is doing the drumming for me since I'm bad at that. And you can see Checkmytech here uses his iPad to edit all of his videos.
Right.
Even this one right here, he's using the iPad.
Yep. I send it right over. So I record on my iPhone 7. Don't even have a tripod or anything. I send it right over to my iPad Air, and you can see those are my editing apps. If you want a video on that, just request in the comments. I'll show you what I do. But everything I do when I'm editing, I do a little on the iPhone if I'm away or something. Almost all of it I just do at night when I'm stretching or something. I'll just pull it out and I'll edit on there. So each one works great. They're both very capable devices, even 2017. With an updated GarageBand and everything, it still ran wonderful on the iPad Mini 2, as well as the iPad Air 2. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, we'll catch you guys next time. Ka-chow!